They say that civilizations arise from rivers. The land around it is fertile and the river itself can provide food and a means to travel. A culture is developed and progress soon follows. I live in a city that was built around a great river, the River Pasig. The river has seen over 440 years of history pass through her waters, including the birth of my city. My home, Pasig City. From its township beginnings as appointed by our Spanish conquerors, to providing a major route for revolutionary hero Andres Bonifacio to meet up with other patriots, a world war that housed Japanese occupation forces and survived it, to decades of progress and industrialization that nearly ravaged it. A lot of how my city is structured is still pretty much the same as when it was a Spanish mission in 1573. Those days, all towns were built around a parish. The Immaculate Conception Cathedral is still where it stood centuries ago, but it has taken on our city's name, the Pasig Cathedral. It is where we continue to flock on Sundays and holy days of obligation. And built around the parish was the town square, a place where you could see the heart of the community. A plaza, a market, a fountain maybe, or monument to mark her history, and not far from it, the local seat of government. It has not changed for centuries, but as my town grew into a city, progress had made a few bad calls. Somehow, earlier leadership had echoed the movie line, "If you build it, they will come." And build we did, over, around, and through. And they did come to settle, with the original planners hoping that, like in the movies, we could live happily ever after. It looked more like a disaster movie. Fortunately, the more forward thinkers of our city brought us back to reality. And reality tells us that the future is built not only for its dwellers, but also for the city itself. This is our new direction. Environmental conservation and protection can be the best roadmap for a growing city like mine. You can't turn back the hands of time, but you can go back to the basics. The landscape gave us our city, so we give back to it. The old parks were restored. Our national hero was brought back where he belonged. Historical landmarks cleaned up, not just for the beauty of it, but they were functional, and for centuries helped tame the waters of the river. The Pasig City Hall was contracted and expanded at the same time. They got rid of wasted space and put in more, beneficial space, so the city and her people could breathe. New parks were built in areas that were underutilized, and where there was no space, we had to be creative. Our old market was given a facelift. In colonial times, the public market was a place where the locals met. Commerce was mixed with neighborhood chat. Pasig still carries that tradition. For us, it's still a place where the vendor is your neighbor. But it has grown to be one of the largest public markets in the country. This is where you can find the freshest deals, cheapest bargains, and on occasion, the latest neighborhood gossip. The first secondary school in Pasig was established in 1902. It started with only 28 students. Renamed Rizal High School a few years later, the students were taught in a rented classroom 30 by 30 meters. Today, this school is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest high school in the world, with a population of more than 19,000. It has produced notable graduates, including 3 senators and 2 national artists. This is a testament to the shaping of my city's educational and historical landscape. What about the natural landscape? As many trees as we cut in the name of progress, can we replant them? Our city began in the local neighborhoods. The greening of our homes is the most logical step to get everyone involved. Then we can go to the public areas. But a rainforest in the middle of a city? Impossible? Not for my city! This popular public park is just what the environmental doctor ordered. That's 8 hectares of public park greenery, including a water park, a lagoon, a zoo, an adventure park, and sports facilities. Pasig is not the quaint pueblo of the past, but our town square is back with a little more elbow room. We didn't turn back the hands of time, but restored some of the landscape that gave us our heritage. A city is about her people too. In colonial times, most festivals were religious in nature. We continue that festive tradition until today. But we also started celebrating as Pasigeños, and nobody can celebrate better than the Filipinos. We party hard, but work even harder. Since becoming a city, we have transformed our town from an industrial center to a booming business hub. We are home to a stock exchange, a regional headquarters, major offices, shopping districts, and luxury hotels. This is the modern face of my city. And we are mindful of the people who work to modernize it. Development always considers open space and parks for the people to relax. We have clean and green policies to protect us. The modern city is being reshaped to keep its citizens happy and healthy. Healthy minds, a happy people, cleaner environment. This is what my city is managing as we head to the future. My city hasn't stopped growing. My city hasn't stopped developing. When you learn to rethink progress, that it should not come with the high price of sacrificing the land and her citizens, then it becomes sustainable. Then I can see my own children and their children's children living in the same city I grew up in. My city, Pasig City.